The hidden force of consistency. Every great success story has one thing in common. It is built on consistency. Not luck, not overnight miracles, not sudden bursts of motivation. True transformation comes from the small, deliberate actions we choose to repeat every single day. Consistency is the silent architect of greatness, the invisible hand that shapes your reality long before the results are visible. Think about nature. A river does not cut through rock because of its power. It cuts through because of its persistence. Drop by drop, flow by flow, day after day, it carves its way through even the hardest stone. That is the essence of consistency. It may not feel powerful in the moment, it may seem slow, ordinary, even unnoticed. But over time, it builds momentum that cannot be stopped. The reason consistency feels difficult for many people is because it lacks immediate reward. We live in a world addicted to instant results, quick fixes, and overnight success stories. But life does not truly work that way. The tree you see today came from a seed planted years ago, watered consistently, cared for patiently. The person who inspires you with wisdom or strength did not become that way in a week. They became that way through years of practice, discipline, and devotion. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about showing up. It's about doing the thing you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it, even when the mood has left you, even when progress seems invisible. Because in those very moments, when no one is watching, when nothing seems to be happening, that is when your foundation is being built. And when the time is right, the results will appear and the world will call it success. But you will know it was consistency all along. Every step you take, no matter how small, compounds over time. Reading 10 pages a day may not feel like much, but over a year, it becomes thousands of pages, shaping your mind and expanding your vision. Doing a few push-ups daily may not transform your body overnight, but over months and years, it builds strength, resilience, and discipline. Writing one paragraph a day may feel insignificant, but over time, it could become a book that changes lives. Consistency is also deeply spiritual. It is a reflection of faith. It says, I trust that my small actions today will create a better tomorrow. It teaches patience, perseverance, and humility. Every time you choose consistency over comfort, you align with your higher self. You stop seeking shortcuts and start building character. You stop looking for external validation and start trusting the process. So if you truly want to transform your life, stop asking, what can I achieve today? And start asking, what can I do every day that will shape who I become? Because in the end, it is not what you do occasionally that changes your life. It is what you do consistently. That is the hidden force that creates destiny. Why small steps create big change? One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it comes from one big action, one lucky break, or one defining moment. The truth is far simpler and far more powerful. Success is the result of small steps taken consistently over time. Every major transformation in life, whether physical, emotional, spiritual, or financial, begins with small, almost invisible choices. These choices, when repeated daily, accumulate into massive change. Think about a single drop of water. On its own, it seems insignificant. But when drops fall consistently over time, they can wear down mountains, fill oceans, and sustain life. Your actions work the same way. Reading a single page may not make you wiser today, but reading every day will transform your perspective over the course of a year. Saving a small amount of money may not make you rich in a week, but doing it every day builds financial freedom over time. Speaking words of kindness to yourself each morning may feel small, but over weeks and months, it rewires your mind toward confidence and peace. This principle is often called the compound effect. Just like interest grows in a bank account, your daily actions grow in your life. The more consistent you are, the more momentum you build, and the more powerful the results become. Success is not about intensity, it is about consistency. Many people start strong, but stop too soon because they don't see instant results. They underestimate the power of the small, and in doing so, they sabotage their own transformation. Small steps are also less intimidating. They give you permission to start without needing to have it all figured out. You don't have to climb the whole mountain in a day, just take the first step. You don't have to run a marathon on the first try. Just put on your shoes and walk. When you focus on small steps, you eliminate excuses. You tell yourself, I may not be able to do everything today, but I can do something today. That mindset alone is life-changing. Consistency in small actions also trains your subconscious mind. Every time you repeat a positive habit, you send a signal to your brain. This is who I am now. Over time, you stop forcing yourself to act. You simply embody the habit. A person who reads daily begins to see themselves as a reader. A person who meditates daily begins to see themselves as peaceful and centered. A person who works on their dreams daily begins to see themselves as unstoppable. Small actions create not only external change, but also internal identity. Remember this, greatness is not built in a single day, but it is built daily. The strongest bodies, the wisest minds, the most peaceful souls, none of them appeared overnight. They were cultivated through ordinary, small steps, repeated with extraordinary consistency. So do not underestimate the power of starting small. Do not wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect conditions. Begin with what you have, where you are, right now. Because the truth is simple. Small steps, done daily, create big change, breaking the cycle of excuses. The greatest obstacle to consistency is not lack of ability, lack of time, or even lack of opportunity. It is excuses. Excuses are the silent killers of dreams. They sound reasonable, they feel comfortable, and they give you permission to stay the same. But behind every excuse lies fear, resistance, or doubt. And until you learn to break free from excuses, you will remain stuck in the same cycle year after year, watching your potential slip through your fingers. Excuses often disguise themselves as logic. You've probably heard them. I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired today. I don't have enough time. It's not the right moment. On the surface, they feel like legitimate reasons, but dig deeper and you'll discover the truth. Tomorrow is just another name for never, and the perfect time will never arrive. Life will always be busy. Circumstances will always be imperfect, and energy will never be constant. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who wait for perfect conditions. They are the ones who take imperfect action consistently. One of the most dangerous patterns of excuses is procrastination. Procrastination promises you relief by delaying effort, but it robs you of progress. You say, I'll do it later. But later becomes tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week, and suddenly years have passed. Consistency demands that you stop negotiating with your excuses and start honoring your commitments. When you say you will do something, do it. Not because it's convenient, but because it shapes your identity as someone who follows through. Another form of excuse is comparison. You might say, why should I bother? Others are already ahead of me. But comparing your journey to someone else's only paralyzes you. Their chapter 10 is not the same as your chapter 1. Every master was once a beginner, and every expert once doubted themselves. Excuses that grow from comparison rob you of your unique path. Remember, you are not here to be them. You are here to be you, consistently becoming better than you were yesterday. Excuses also feed on feelings. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel ready. But consistency is not about feelings. It is about commitment. Feelings are temporary, but habits built through consistency last forever. If you only act when you feel like it, you will never build the discipline needed for transformation. The truth is, you don't need to feel ready. You need to act, and readiness will follow. Motivation is not the fuel for consistency. Consistency is the fuel for motivation. Breaking the cycle of excuses requires awareness and discipline. You must learn to recognize the voice of the excuse and replace it with the voice of truth. Instead of saying, I don't have time, say, I will make time for what matters. Instead of saying, I'll start tomorrow, say, I start now, even if small. Instead of saying, I can't, say, I'll grow until I can. Each time you silence an excuse, you strengthen your character and move closer to the life you desire. Remember this, excuses will always be there for you, but so will opportunities. The difference lies in what you choose. If you choose excuses, you stay where you are. If you choose action, you step into growth. And when you choose consistent action over comfortable excuses, your life begins to transform in ways you never imagined, aligning consistency with your higher self. Consistency is not just about discipline or productivity. It is about alignment with your higher self. Every action you repeat daily is a message to the universe about who you are and who you are becoming. When you choose consistent positive habits, you are not only building routines, you are shaping your identity, strengthening your spirit, and awakening your true potential. Think of it this way. Every day, you are casting votes for the person you want to become. Each choice is a ballot. When you choose to meditate, you cast a vote for peace. When you choose to exercise, you cast a vote for strength. When you choose to learn, you cast a vote for wisdom. Over time, these votes add up and create the reality of who you are. Your higher self is not built through occasional bursts of effort, but through daily, consistent alignment. Consistency is deeply spiritual because it teaches patience, faith, and surrender. When you commit to showing up every day, even when results are invisible, you are saying, I trust the process. I believe that my actions have meaning, even if I cannot see the outcome yet. That is faith in its purest form. It is like planting seeds in the soil. You water them, you nurture them, you wait, even when the earth looks unchanged. Then one day, the breakthrough happens. Consistency is that act of watering your dreams daily, knowing that the harvest will come in its time. When you align your habits with your higher self, you begin to notice a shift within you. Consistency strengthens discipline, and discipline creates freedom. Freedom from distractions, freedom from doubt, freedom from living in cycles of regret. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. Each time you follow through, you send a message to your spirit. I can rely on myself. That self-trust becomes unshakable confidence because you no longer wait for external validation. You know who you are becoming. This alignment also connects you to something greater than yourself. Whether you call it God, the universe, or divine energy, consistency is a form of prayer in motion. It is devotion expressed through action. Every time you choose growth, you honor the gift of life you've been given. You say, I will not waste this day, this opportunity, this breath. I will use it to step closer to my purpose. That is spiritual awakening in its purest form. And here is the most beautiful truth. Consistency transforms not only your habits, but also your identity. You stop saying, I want to be disciplined, and you begin to say, I am disciplined. You stop saying, I want to be strong, and you begin to live as someone strong. You stop saying, I want to grow, and you embody growth itself. The daily actions you take are no longer separate from who you are. They become the essence of who you are. So align your actions with your higher self. Choose habits that feed your soul, not your fears. Show up daily, even when no one sees, even when progress feels slow, even when the voice of doubt whispers otherwise. Because every act of consistency is a step toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. As we close this journey on the power of consistency, I want you to pause and truly reflect. Everything you dream of becoming, everything you hope to achieve, every breakthrough you long for, it is all waiting on the other side of consistent action. Not giant leaps, not sudden miracles, but steady steps taken day after day. Consistency is the bridge between intention and transformation. Many people have big goals, but few achieve them. Why? Because they underestimate the power of the small. They want instant results, but life rewards those who honor the process. If you want success, if you want peace, If you want to awaken to your higher self, you must fall in love with the daily practice. Look at the patterns of nature. The sun rises every morning without fail. The seasons change in perfect rhythm. The ocean tides flow in and out with unshakable consistency. The universe itself is built on patterns of order, repetition, and persistence. If creation follows this rhythm, why should your life be any different? When you align your habits with consistency, you align yourself with the very heartbeat of the universe. Remember this: greatness is not built in the moments when it is easy. It is built in the moments when it is hard, when motivation is gone, when no one is watching, and you still choose to show up. That is where character is forged. That is where strength is born. That is where dreams begin to take shape. And yes, you will face excuses. You will face resistance. You will feel tired, distracted, or unmotivated. But consistency is not about feelings. It is about choices. Each day you choose to act, you cast a vote for your future self. Over time, those votes accumulate into a destiny so powerful that nothing can stop it. The beauty of consistency is that it compounds. What feels small today becomes significant tomorrow. A few minutes of learning today becomes a wisdom in a year. A single act of discipline today becomes unshakable strength in time. And one courageous step today becomes the momentum that carries you into your destiny. So the real question is not, can I be great? The real question is, am I willing to be consistent? Because greatness is not reserved for the lucky, it is created by the consistent. Today, make the decision to rise above excuses, to trust the process, to align your daily actions with your higher self, to show up not just when it feels easy, but especially when it feels difficult. Because that is when transformation happens. Your destiny is not built in a single day. It is built daily. So choose wisely, choose courageously, and choose consistently. For when you do, you will awaken to the truth that you are not only capable of change, you are capable of becoming limitless.